welcome to highlights of the 1991 Hungarian Grand Prix, brought to you by Micropose and GP2Joey. The 10th round of the season sees Formula 1 go behind the Iron Curtain and the tight and twisty Hungoraring just outside Budapest. With its slow and twisting nature, the track is the second slowest on the calendar after Monaco. Ferrari's Ayrton Senna was the winner last time out in Germany after Britain's Nigel Mansell suffered his fourth successive retirement whilst leading, and it's Senna who leads the drivers' standings, 2 points ahead of McLaren's Alain Prost, with his teammate Joey Davies 13 points adrift in third, with Mansell fourth for Williams. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren hold a 20-point lead over Ferrari in second, with Williams 11 points further back in third, with Tyrrell, Benetton and Footwork battling over fourth. Before the race, many teams tested at Silverstone, with young Mercedes driver Heinz-Harald Frentzen turning some quick laps for Footwork, whilst down at McLaren they ran the popular JJ Leto, who did a solid job impressing the team, with his manager 1982 champ Keke Rosberg declaring that his boy was ready for a top seat. Boss Rd10 then stated that a Senna return was not vital for the team's success, and eventually confirmed the recent rumours that he had entered into talks with Ilmor over a possible engine supply should Honda decide to walk away from F1 at the end of the year, which did not go down well with Footwork boss Jackie Oliver, who claimed he already had a works deal before the team confirmed respected designer Alan Jenkins had been signed to replace the recently fired John Barnard. As usual, Friday morning's pre-qualifying session was close and action-packed, with Leto coming back down to earth with a large bump in the very slow BMS Dallara, whilst the Brabhams of Damon Hill and Mark Blundell impressed. But it was the young Finn Mika Häkkinen who shone brightest, ending the session quickest from his Lotus teammate Martin Donnelly as they both progressed into race weekend qualifying, with Brabham and Leighton House joining them, whilst the others were left to pack up their transporters early and lick their wounds. Friday afternoon was hot and humid as the cars set their first qualifying laps in anger, with Davies being the initial pace setter, before his time was eclipsed by Jean Alain and then Mansell, who ended the session with provisional pole after Senna and Prost both hit problems and failed to set any lap times at all. Afterwards, news then broke that Senna and Prost's availability for next year had stalled Mansell's Williams talks, so the Englishman went to talk to Rd10 at McLaren, whilst Jordan's Bertrand Gachot remained confident ahead of his court case in London the following week. Saturday's session was a disaster for Senna, with the Brazilian strangely off the pace, whilst Prost moaned about the performance of his Honda power plant, comparing it to a Formula 2 engine. Meantime, teammate Davies was busy stunning the entire paddock after stealing pole from under Mansell's bushy moustache in the dying seconds, with an incredible time nearly a second faster than his countryman and a whopping 2.4 seconds faster than Prost in the sister McLaren, whilst Gianni Morbidelli and Martin Donnelly both failed to qualify. Afterwards, Davies admitted the gap to a below-par Prost had shocked even him, with Mansell also admitting his surprise at the lap time Davies was able to extract, and Alain had his sights purely on getting his first career win. The Frenchman then confirmed to the world that his seat at Williams was indeed under threat for next year, which the team themselves refused to deny, and teammate Mansell was unconcerned about talks over his deal to stay on at the team. So it's Joey Davies and Nigel Mansell on the front row, with Jean Alain and Ayrton Senna on row 2. Row 3 is Nelson Piquet and Johnny Herbert. Row 4 is Michael Andretti and Alain Prost. Row 5 is Martin Brundle and Roberto Moreno. Row 6 is Riccardo Patrese and Gerhard Berger. Row 7 is Andrea De Cesaris and Bertrand Gachot. Row 8 is Stefano Modena and Satoru Nakajima. Row 9 is Mika Häkkinen and Ivan Capelli. Row 10 is Thierry Boutsen and Mark Blundell. Row 11 is Eric Bernard and Pierluigi Martini. Row 12 is Aguri Suzuki and Damon Hill. And at the back it's Maurizio Gugelmin and Eric Comas. The last driver pulls onto the grid slot. We're ready for 77 laps as the red lights come on, the revs rise, and the Hungarian Grand Prix is go! Davies gets off to a mediocre start, but it's Nigel Mansell who takes the lead away from the lights. He's comfortably into first place on the run down to the first turn, into the braking zone. Davies is on the inside. Alesi's going to try and go around the outside, but Davies just cuts him off. Davies holds on to second. It's Alesi dropping to third. It's Senna in fourth. Mansell's in the lead. He's already into turn 3. Johnny Herbert's into 5th place. Prost is 6th. Michael Andretti in the second. Ferrari is in 7th. Brundle is 8th, and Nelson Piquet's dropped to 9th place from 6th on the grid. An appalling start for the Brazilian, with Riccardo Patrese in 10th in the Joes, and Roberto Moreno's climbing all over the back of his gearbox. And there's Joey Davies already in second. He's half a second away from Mansell, who's comfortably into the lead. Davies looks like he's going to struggle to keep Alain behind him at this rate. Davies had a superb qualifying session yesterday when he was almost a second faster than anybody, but Nigel Mansell was quietly confident of his race pace today, and it's certainly showing because he's already 1.5 seconds to the good over Davies. Alesi's 2 seconds further back, with Senna still in 4th. It's Herbert in. Michael Andretti 6 as he rounds the penultimate turn. Mansell's going to head into the final corner, and he could very well have a 2-second lead at the end of the opening lap. Extraordinary start from Nigel Mansell. He comes over the line for the first time, and Davies is 1.6. He's closed the gap a little bit in the second half of the lap. And here's a replay of the start from Davies.
It's an initial getaway very well from Joey Davies there, but he bogged down a little bit in second gear as Nigel Mansell easily into the lead as they run down towards the first corner. He just has to defend the inside line from Alesi's Williams. It looks like he's going to try and make a move, but there's nothing doing now.
And back in the live feed, it's Prost coming under attack, and that's Brundle going through. Martin Brundle's taken Prost's 7th position, so the Englishman's up to 7th, but he's behind Michael Andretti. He's going to have to see if he can close the gap, but Andretti is closing on Johnny Herbert as well. But back up front, Mansell is 2.8 seconds in the lead now over Davies, with Alesi in 3rd, and that's a car slowing. That's Patrese slowing in the Joas Porsche. Riccardo Patrese, he is out of the race, and there's Andretti.
Michael Andretti just slips it up the inside of Johnny Herbert. Tremendous overtaking there. He obviously got a very good run on the Englishman out at the final turn, and now he's followed his Brazilian teammate Ayrton Senna, and he's through into 5th position. Meantime, Nigel Mansell back up front. He's just set the new fastest lap of the race so far. But Davies is, I think Joey Davies is going to go even quicker.
He's done it. He's gone even faster. Davies has closed the gap in one lap from 2.8 to 1.9 seconds. What a battle between these two British drivers. Are we going to be able to see this right to the end of the race? Because Senna's coming under attack from Andretti now. And Michael Andretti is obviously on the move, and he's now up into 4th place. I'm not sure that Senna's going to be too happy about that. Senna's obviously regarded as the #1 driver at Ferrari, but Michael Andretti's certainly saying something about that today, because he's up into 4th position. John Alesi is still 3rd, but he's now 9.8 seconds away. And Davies is closing ever still now. The gap is only 1.6 seconds. Is he going to be able to chase down? And Häkkinen! Mika Häkkinen has pulled over and he is out. My goodness, Häkkinen. He made a tremendous qualifying effort, and there's Roberto Moreno.
Alain Prost is seemingly holding this train of drivers up. That's Prost ahead of Piquet and Berger and Roberto Moreno. I'm not really sure what's happened with Alain Prost, but his head is certainly not in the game lately, and he's definitely been wasted by Joey Davies. And obviously, even yesterday, Davies was 2.4 seconds faster than the Frenchman. And I think that it's not going to be long before we may even hear that Alain Prost is even going to bow out, because at this rate, he's definitely not going to want to be getting that sort of performance deficit to his teammate.
And Davies and Mansell are lapping the back markers already. Mansell manages to creep underneath Comas, and Davies just about manages to sneak through as well. And this is going to be absolutely crucial for the two of them, because Davies has closed the gap from 1.6 to half of that. It's now less than 1 second as they round the final turn. And is Davies going to be able to try and pounce now? There's a lot of engine power in that Williams Renault, but the Honda is predominantly faster. But down into the first turn, Mansell can't get past one of the Leighton houses. I think that's Maurizio Gugelmin. And Davies just flipping the throttle. He's going to try and find a way past. Mansell goes to the outside. Davies is going to go to the inside. They both go around Maurizio Gugelmin. Fantastic bit of racing from both the race leaders. Mansell's through, Davies is through, and they are on to the next lap as Damon Hill we see in the Brabham. And the Brabham team in the last couple of races certainly seem to have come alive. Mark Blundell is slightly ahead of his teammate, and there they are, the two of them, and Blundell looks like he's going to try and make a move on one of the LaRousses, and Mansell's coming in.
Davies is coming in.
Davies is coming into the pits. It's Mansell going around the final turn, and there's the McLaren. So Joey Davies is making his first pit stop. Mansell chooses to stay out. He's going to try and build some sort of a gap, but he's got 3 cars ahead of him as Davies comes in. He's onto the blocks. He gets the car nice to stop. The brakes are on. A little wipe on the visor from the chief mechanic. Beautifully done. The new set of wheels are on. How fast is it going to be? It's 10 seconds. That's quite a slow stop from the McLaren pit board. But he's going to try and get there, see if he can get some sort of track position on Mansell. As we see Brundle lapping some of the back markers.
No, that's 4th position. That's Martin Brundle. He's made a tyre stop and he's already battling now. And as you see, Jean Alain. Jean Alain's got Joey Davies right behind him now. So Davies has made his pit stop. He's come out behind Mansell's teammate. And I'm pretty sure that Alain will have been told by the team to actually try and slow him up, because Alain is way off the pace today. Again, he's off the pace of his teammate Nigel Mansell. He's off the pace of Davies, and I'm sure that Williams will have definitely told him to try and hold up the McLaren.
And Davies is going to try it on the inside into the final turn. We're hearing that Alain has been given the instruction from Williams to slow Davies as much as he possibly can. But I'm not sure he's going to be able to do anything about it now, because Davies got a good run on him out of the final turn. As Andretti lurks in the background, Davies pulls out. He's got the inside line, and Joey Davies is back up into 2nd position now. But he's 26.2 seconds behind Mansell, who is yet to stop. And is that going to be enough of a gap as Moreno follows his teammate Nelson Piquet through, and Piquet still can't find a way past Alain Prost.
Yes, Prost is very much being some sort of a mobile chicane today, as we see. I think that's a Williams coming in.
That's Mansell. Mansell's into the pits. So Mansell's coming in to make his tyre stop. And where's Davies? He's coming up to the final turn now. And he's just put in the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1 minute 18.9. Is Davies going to be able? He's over the line now. It's a 1 minute 18.7. Is he going to come out into the lead? We think he is. Mansell's not out of the pits. There he is. We got a slight flash of the Williams in the background. And I think because Mansell had to negotiate those 3 back markers, Williams made a mistake in not pitting him early as Andretti comes into the pit. But it's Joey Davies in the lead now. Fantastic stuff. And there's Senna. Senna's in 4th place. Herbert's in 5th. Prost is up to 6th with Piquet 7th. But look at this. That's Mansell. Mansell's right on the gearbox of Joey Davies now as they exit the final turn, and I'm pretty sure he's going to make a move now. And Mansell pulls up alongside the McLaren. It's a straight drag race down to the first turn into the braking zone. It's Mansell on the inside. Davies is going to try and hold it up around the outside, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to do it there. He backs out of it, and Mansell retakes the lead from Joey Davies, who has another look. But he's not going to do anything there. Mansell's too fast. He's on fresher rubber. His tyres are 6 laps older. 6 laps fresher, than Davies. And that's a superb performance from Nigel Mansell.
Here's his teammate, Jean Alain. Alain's now 17.1 seconds behind them. And not a very good performance again from Jean Alain. As we see Michael Andretti making a move, and that's on Alain Prost. Andretti's made his tyre stop. Prost is yet to stop. And Andretti is through, and he's up into 6th position. Michael Andretti has certainly been impressive this weekend, I have to say, and although there is some rumours about his position at Ferrari for next year, I'm pretty sure that he will remain in the team, hopefully alongside Ayrton Senna, because we know that Ferrari definitely want to keep him on board, despite the recent McLaren rumours. As we see Mark Blundell, and that's one of the Tyrrells.
That's Nakajima trying to go through. That's Nakajima's going through. He's past Mark Blundell. And Davies is on an absolute flyer because he's catching Nigel Mansell again now. He's got the gap down to 1.5 seconds as we see Andretti trying to make a pass on Senna again. And he's through. That's the 2nd time today that Andretti has got past his teammate. Fantastic performance. There's obviously no team orders at the moment. But like we said earlier today, we're not sure if Senna's going to be too happy about that.
Nakajima, and that's Nakajima on Boutsen as Prost comes in. I'm pretty sure that Senna's not going to be very happy with the Andretti performance being allowed to happen, actually, because Senna is the man going for the title, Andretti isn't, and at the moment he's costing Senna valuable points, and the two of them are pushing the Ferraris by very much racing each other, and the team really do need to get a grip on this, because the reliability has been very mixed. As Mansell tries to pass Gugelmin yet again, Gugelmin balks it coming out of the right-left chicane as Senna makes his tyre stop. He's only making one stop today. He's stopping from 4th position, but Mansell is still in the lead, and he's 2.3 seconds ahead of Davies. The lead keeps fluctuating with each car that Mansell's trying to negotiate his way around the back markers, as Piquet is still out of the top 10 already. But we're looking at Davies now. Davies just runs wide, trying to chase down Damon Hill's Brabham. Mansell's got through, but Davies is desperately trying to get past the Brabham. But he can't do anything there, and he's absolutely getting held up. The gap's gone from 1.9, it's over to 2 seconds now. And Davies again, he's had to get out of the throttle. He's going to have to try and pass it. He's going to slip it up the inside and out. My goodness, Davies has hit Brabham. He's hit the Brabham of Hill, and he's lost the nose cone of the McLaren. And what a shame for Joey Davies. He's going to have to come into the pits. My goodness me, what happened there? I think that's probably a miscalculation on the part of Davies there. Hill looked like an innocent bystander there. Davies was absolutely trying to forge his way through there. There was no need for that. That's very reckless from him, I must say. Joey Davies is going to have to pit, and any chance he had of beating this man today, Nigel Mansell, is well and truly gone, because he's going to come into the pits, get his new nose fitted, new set of tyres, and obviously he's going to be going for some lap records, I should imagine now, with his fuel load getting as low as it is. But look at that, it's Michael Andretti up into 3rd place, ahead of Jean Alain, who seems to have fallen back. Alain's in 4th place, but we understand that Andretti's got to make another tyre stop. Here's a slow motion replay. Look at this. For whatever reason, Davies, he thought he obviously had cleared Damon Hill's Brabham when he hadn't, and he's just caught his left rear on the front right of Hill, and Hill couldn't do anything about that. As we see Brundle trying to get past one of the Tyrrells. He's trying to get past one of the back markers. This place is absolutely notorious for being so difficult to get past any slower cars, and that's why it occasionally produces some fantastic racing. As Mansell comes into the pits, he's got a lead over Davies of 44 seconds, but Davies isn't going to be able to do anything about that. Davies slaps Eric Comas, he slips it up the inside and almost forces the Ligier off the road. With Capelli in the background, he's battling Comas as well. But Davies has got to put the pedal to the metal and try and close the gap as we see one of the Jordans. That's Gasho. Gasho's pulling off. It's De Cesaris. De Cesaris is pulling off. De Cesaris is out in the Jordan. Fantastic. And that's a footwork. Is that Brundle? That's Brundle. That's Herbert. Herbert's pulling off. Herbert's off. My goodness me, with a puncture. It's suspension failure. He's got a suspension failure. My mistake. And he's out for the 9th time in 10 races. Johnny Herbert is out. He is having the worst luck. My goodness, that's a Ferrari, and that's Andretti pulling off. They're dropping like flies. Senna comes through. He's up into 4th position, but Michael Andretti is out as Mansell goes through. But look at the gap. Davies, he's been setting lap time after lap time. He's got the gap down to 2.5 seconds. Phenomenal performance from Joey Davies. He's obviously on song today with that McLaren, and he's really trying to close the gap up now. And that's Senna. Senna's pulling off. The other Ferrari, that's Ayrton Senna. He is out. And what would have been his 3rd win in a row if he'd won the previous 2 races, which he didn't. And there's Joey Davies up into 2nd place, and Davies loses the back end. He's really pushing it. He's got the gap down to 10.6 seconds, but he's lost a little bit of time. And has he damaged the McLaren? Has he damaged the right rear, hitting the barrier there? Because Mansell is pulling away yet again in the lead. He's serenely in 1st place, and he's going to have absolutely everything crossed today, that he's got all the reliability gods with him, because he's failed to finish the last 4 races. He's not won a race in such a long time. And there's Jean Alain in 3rd position. We're riding on board with the young Frenchman, and it's going to be interesting to see if Martin Brundle can try and close the gap. Davies is into the pits. Davies is in. Joey Davies has come in again. He must have damaged something on the car. Perhaps he got a puncture, but he's come into the pits. And Mansell is serenely going around now. He's got a colossal lead now. It's 36 seconds over Davies, with Jean Alain in 3rd. It's Brundle 4th, Prost in 5th, Piquet's in 6th place, Berger 7th. It's Gasho 8th as Davies crosses the line, and it's a new lap record of 1 minute 18.231. Fantastic stuff from the Englishman.
He's absolutely flying. He's going to try and pass the Jordan of Gasho as quickly as he can. He slips it up the inside. He's not waiting around for him anymore. And there's Mansell now. He's only got a few laps to go. But Davies has got the gap down to 17.7 seconds. And Lacey's 1 minute and 10 seconds behind his teammate. And Davies has set another fastest lap. It's a 1 minute 17.837. And he's lost it again. He's got the gap down to 9 seconds. And he's off. And that's it. Any hope that Davies had of winning the race today is well and truly gone. He's driven superbly, even if a little bit erratic. But you cannot question his commitment. But he's been unable to beat this man today, Nigel Mansell. He's got to just negotiate the last 2 corners. He's into the tight left-hander. And Mansell is going to be set to win only the 2nd time this year. Win in all realistic terms. This could have been win number 6 of the year with a nice little lead at the top of the standings. But nevertheless, he exits the final turn. Mansell puts the pedal to the metal. He's over the line. And Nigel Mansell wins the 1991 Hungarian Grand Prix in terrific style. Fantastic performance. Absolutely fantastic. But Davies, the gallant Joey Davies, he exits the penultimate turn. He's into the final right-hander now. He gets a nice power slide out of it, and he's on full throttle, and he comes across the line to take 2nd place. And Shauna Lacey's in 3rd. But it's this man, Nigel Mansell, absolutely unstoppable. What a performance! Having lost the previous 4 races to reliability issues, this win meant everything for Mansell, who held off a charging Davies in 2nd, with a Lacey a very distant 3rd ahead of Brundle in 4th, Prost 5th and PK an impressive 6th at a race that saw only 14 classified finishers. On the podium, Mansell's relief was obvious to all, whilst the frustrated Davies took solace in another 6 points in his quest for a first world title. But a Lacey was not happy, feeling his Williams team scuppered his chances of winning. Senna was quick to call on Ferrari to not repeat their reliability issues, and Herbert's 9th DNF of the year marked a watershed moment for him, possibly leaving footwork, all of which interested Ron Dennis down at McLaren. Senna and Prost are now tied on 46 points at the top of the standings, with Davies in 2nd, only 7 points adrift, and Mansell finally is back in the title chase on 36 points in 3rd. Williams have leapfrogged Ferrari into 2nd behind McLaren in the constructors' standings, whilst the battle over 4th between Tyrrell, Footwork and Benetton continues to rage. We head to the Ardennes next, and the fast and majestic Spa-Francorchamps circuit, for what promises to be one of the races of the year, where any one of the top 6 drivers could win. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for round 11 of the 1991 Formula 1 World Championship in Belgium.